Yes, my name is Göran Stegrin. I'm so happy to be here, taking part of this exciting event. And I would say good morning and maybe good afternoon to all participants out there in the world. I work for the Swedish Energy Agency, and I would like to share some of our work and our experiences with you all. The theme for this event, the whole event, is AI and how to move research into some kind of market accessibility. And AI is really on top of people's mind, but it's still in its infancy in many respects. A lot of things is happening, but you can see that it's really represents a major potential for changing a lot of things in the future, and it's actually happening now. I've seen pictures that, like, there is potential for additional economic output of $13 trillion by 2030 each year by AI use. So it's really something that will influence a lot of us. Talking about Swedish Energy Agency, we are working with energy-related issues, transforming the energy systems in Sweden. And why AI? Well, we see this as one tool, really important tool to support this transformation. You see a lot of things that is connected to AI and reduced climate impacts. You can use it for save energy in buildings. You can use it to optimize food production and a lot of other things. And I would change to next slide here. And I think these quotes, I think, is pretty good background for why we think this is very important. Climate change is the biggest challenge facing the planet. This is actually really urgent. And I just watched the news yesterday about France. There is a lot of issues regarding flooding. And we'll need every solution possible, including technology like artificial intelligence. This is a quote from National Geographic. And we also have Lisa Su. She's CEO of the American hardware company AMD. She stated that we see incredible opportunity to solve some of the biggest social challenges we have by combining high-performance computing and AI, such as climate change and more. But I think this is a good backdrop for this session. So it's about us. Well, AI is kind of a Swiss Army knife. It's a tool. So it depends on us how we use it. And we have to be creative to find new ways to use this. And I would like to share a short video for you all illustrating a way of applying something that is connected to all of us in a new environment. So please start the video.
On the 30th of March 1984, Dr. Stig Lundbeck patents the human heart. Or to be more precise, he patents a technology that resembles the heart's unique pumping and control functions. He will eventually call it DAPP, Dynamic Adaptive Piston Pump Technology.
My father Stig was a doctor with the mind of an engineer. He was curious and always wanted to know more and find better solutions. His own father, Sune Lundbeck, died of a heart disease, and Stig kept his last heartbeats on an ECG strip. And his father's last wish was that Stig should strive to reduce the suffering of people living with heart disease. And so, to get the attention and the resources needed for the cardiac research, Stig began to investigate how to use the heart's pumping mechanisms to create new industrial products.
Through co-financing, the Swedish Energy Agency has helped 3 companies to further develop Stig Lundbeck's innovative products. Today, this gives us unprecedented opportunities to remove oil, plastic and rubbish from the sea cheaply and efficiently. We can now design electric utility vehicles that are stronger, faster, more precise, and more energy efficient than ever before. We could now be able to construct wave power systems that harness 5 times as much power at a third of the cost. Can you imagine the impact? Finally, wave power will be able to fulfill its hopeful promise of clean, inexpensive, limitless energy, around the clock, all over the globe. That was what Stig Lundbäck envisioned, where others only saw a muscle. He recognized nature's own brilliant solution.
The support from the Swedish Energy Agency has been instrumental in allowing the entire world to benefit from Stig's discoveries. Sadly, Stig is no longer with us, but his ideas live on. They are being refined and continues to spin off new products. And this is his legacy for the future.
Today, our common world faces major challenges when it comes to sustainable energy and climate change. But there is definitely hope. We are firm believers in the power of the groundbreaking Swedish innovative capacity. We support hundreds of Swedish innovators in their pursuit of solutions that can help our world face the challenges of energy transition. Together, we can make a real difference, and hopefully, history.
That was a short video. Just a backdrop of the Swedish Energy Agency, why we are involved in this. This is something about the energy targets for Sweden. We are really geared towards lowering our emissions of greenhouse gases. We are focusing a lot on renewable energy, renewable electricity, and more efficient use of energy. So we are having quite strict targets, and AI is one tool to reach this. If we talk about Swedish Energy Agency, we are the Swedish largest research financer when it talks about energy and sustainable energy. So we are funding about 150 million euros every year to research and innovations. We are supporting innovations to reach a commercial state and also go international. So that is one of our key takeaways from this seminar. We talk about innovations. This curve, I think many of you are familiar with the different values of death. There is an early one. You need capital. Sorry, this is Swedish, but it will change to English. You need capital and support when you grow. Different stages, different needs, but there are different things you need to take care of. And when you talk about our support, we are able to support activities in Sweden. If you come to Sweden, you will be able to access these various tools. We have a large number of programs for both fundamental and applied research in early stage. We support the Swedish innovation systems, the incubators, science parks. We also do have quite close to market supports. We support prototypes, pilots, demonstrations, works together with customers. But also in the final end, we are working a lot with promotion, and this will be discussed later in depth by my partner here, Pavan. We work in countries like India, China, Indonesia, Germany, UK, and the US, and we have quite extensive programs for various partnerships, networks, export investment promotions, and access to private equity. Talking about scaling, this is important because many great ideas never make it to the market to really make an impact. And these are some examples of activities we are running in all over the world. And we will make a deep dive in India later on after this discussion. So what about the result? We have approximately 200 companies we have funded during the last years, about 90 million euros. Well, the top 23 of these companies on stock exchange, they are valued actually to, this is in Belgian SEK, this is about 2 billion euros. Actually, is the value of these startup companies now by the market. And these 145 innovations we have looked at, they have actually potential to save more than 18 times the total greenhouse gas emissions of Sweden. So you see, improving business and improving the climate is going hand to hand. So we have to create the future we like. So start working with it now. So thank you very much. And I would like to leave the word to Pavan, that will continue to showcase some, it's Richard that will take the lead now. Thank you.
So hello everyone. My name is Richard Koenig, and I'm CTO and co-founder of Econo Solution, and we're a startup. And I'm going to speak about how I took my research to market, or a good way along the way anyway. So let's start with what we do. We want to do every connected device smart. And we do that by providing an embedded machine learning library for the Internet of Things. So the whole idea is to be able to put AI on any small device. Anything from a car to a power drill or whatever. And this is a difference from traditional machine learning or cloud computing, which is based on the assumption that you have a fleet of devices that has something to the common. So you send that data to the cloud and you can draw a conclusion, do some AI or machine learning there and derive the need for predictive maintenance. Reality is much more complex. These devices will change configuration over time. They will operate in very different environments, and they won't even have an internet connection in many times. So it's really hard to get this going. So we solve this problem by turning the problem around, and we send the AI and machine learning down to the device, and we learn one model per device. And then we are close to the sensor. We only need to send the derived result, the need for predictive maintenance. But of course, it's much harder because you won't have a supercomputer on a truck or on a watch. So you need to do the library very optimized and small, and that is what we do. So let's take two examples of projects that we have been done with customers. One is with Siemens Turbo Machinery. They're doing these huge gas turbines that can generate clean energy from gas. And just one of these can generate 60 megawatts. So it's enough to power a small city. And normally they're used in remote areas as oil rigs and gas fields or by industries with very high energy need. And Siemens always strive to make things better and cleaner. So as soon as you burn something, you'll have emissions. And in this case, NOx and other emissions that they want to lower. But to do this, you need to tune each machine to its application and its environment. And the best tuning may vary over time due to temperature and humidity and stuff like that. So what Econo do is that we run our machine learning library on device and learn the individual circumstances for each device. And in that way, we can do the tuning automatically. So we don't need to send the engineers all around the world to tune these machines. And in that way, we can lower the NOx emission in a really good way. Another projects we have done with a partner, Acobia, is to make a new approach to climate control. So normally you have a PID regulator that is installed and tuned manual again in the beginning when you set it up. But here we instead create one small virtual or machine learning based regulator for each room that learns how the surrounding environment affects that room. You don't need to explain how much window you have or anything at all. And by doing that, if you can explain that, you can use that, of course, to have a smarter control system. And the chart you see here is how the temperature was deviating from a set level before we apply our library, and this is how it looked afterwards. Everything that is above the line. The line in this case was energy savings. So, but how did we get there? Well, I'm a researcher, or was a researcher, or I'm still a researcher. I defended my PhD back in 2013, and even since I started, I always want to do something with my research. I really want to make a difference. And I had so many ideas. I wanted to do personalized golf swing recommendation based on radar data and machine learning. I wanted to do predictions for the sales of food trucks traveling around Sweden. I had many ideas, but I never really hit the right spot until 2016, when I got a grant for looking at the commercialization of my research. And I hired a consultant which had a background in the telecom industry. And he said, well, I see all these devices that generate more and more data, and they're getting connected to the network, and it's just flooding it. And then he looked at my product that I was developing, say, well, you have such a small footprint. Can you put that on a gateway? Could you put that on a clock? And say, yes, you probably could. And with that, he said, well, let's start something together. We really need to do something about that. So we founded Econo in the end of 2016. And then after a year, we had a seed round with Valrud Venture. That was the first investor in Klarna and Tobii. And then we could really start to work for full time with the company. And then everything picked up speed. We were 4 founders from the beginning. After in the beginning of 2018, we had our first employee. We did another post-seed round. And today we're already 23 people working at Econo. So from the beginning, we've been attached to the startup scene and the incubators here in Sweden. We have a lot of them. And I'm situated in Borås incubator, but we're also part of Synerleap, Mobility X Lab, Things, and CampX. And the other cool thing is that these incubators are the initiative by Sweden's many large industrial companies. Like Synerleap is ABB's way to collaborate with startups. Mobility X Lab is a collaboration between SEFT, Ericsson, Veoneer, Volvo Cars, and Sinuity. And CampX is Volvo Group's own collaboration space. And then we have Things that in Stockholm that connects startups with enterprises. And we've been part of all of this, and it's great because you don't just walk up to these enterprises and knock on the door and say, we want to work with you. They want to work with you, but you need to get the right way in and speak with the right person to get anywhere. And through these incubators, we actually been getting commercial contracts with Siemens, Husqvarna, Volvo, Alfa Laval, and ABB. And of course, that's great reference portfolio to have when you go abroad as well. So Sweden is really a great country to be in as a startup. So what did I learn during this journey, or this part of the journey, because it's definitely not finished yet. We're still learning. Well, let's take it in some quotes from other smart people. Martin Lorentzon, co-founder of Spotify from the same city that I'm situated here in Borås, said that people are too secret with their business idea. Success is not so much about the idea, but the implementation. So share your ideas with others and think about the implementation. And if I had done that from the beginning, I could probably have cut down like 3 to 4 years of this journey. Because when I was just thinking on my own, I was not really getting to the right spot, so to say. Another thing that Reid Hoffman said, is co-founder of LinkedIn and CEO of PayPal, is that I do believe that if you're not embarrassed by your first product release, you've released it too late. And that is something that I had to struggle with as a researcher, that as a researcher, you don't want to release anything until it's perfect, 100% ready, all the proofs are there, everything is correct, right? But you can't do that when you want to commercialize something. You really need to go out and test it and try it. And my other co-founders had that experience. So they forced us out, meet the customer early, try out. And I mean, been embarrassed in several meetings, but I never really had to, because we had a solid product from the beginning, and we learned so much and adapted fast on the way. And finally, Bo Chandler always screamed, the team, the team, the team. If you're going to do this startup journey, don't do it yourself. You need a team, but don't hire anyone that you wouldn't like to go out and have a beer with. At the same time, hire people that is different from you. So there's so many things you need to learn and handle. So really try to get competences from all possible corners and not people that think exactly like you. And finally, of course, don't forget to have fun, because if you're in it for the money, you will probably be disappointed. So the most important thing is to have fun and actually have passion for what you're doing. And thank you for your time and listening to this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rickard. And thank you for those really inspiring talks to the team. And of course, you should be a little bit embarrassed, otherwise you're too late. And it's also really interesting to see that you have been taking part of a lot of the Swedish ecosystem incubators. So thank you so much for your presentation. Let's move on to Pavan. Do we have Pavan ready?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'll start with sharing my presentation. Let me know once you're able to see that. Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Good. So my name is Pavan Tailani. I am the Senior Project Manager at Business Sweden's New Delhi office. I look after the sustainability and climate change vertical. So today I'm going to present about one of the most promising programs for Sweden in terms of green energy collaborations, which is India-Sweden Innovations Accelerator. This is the program which promotes green energy collaborations between India and Sweden. Yeah. Can you still see the on this presentation?
I can just add for the chat. So if you're interested in the Swedish Energy Agency's support system, they have a lot of amazing support for startups and scale-ups. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. And Rickard, you are getting some praise for your presentation earlier on. And if you have any questions for Rickard, please feel free to ask in the chat. Yes, now we can continue. We can see the next slide.
Yeah, perfect. So this program has been widely appreciated not only by Swedish companies, but by Indian companies also, given that it provides opportunities for a number of technological collaborations and help Indian companies in improving their capabilities also. So this program is the official program for promoting energy-related collaborations. It was recognized in the India-Sweden Joint Action Plan. Swedish Energy Agency, Business Sweden, and India's largest industry association, CII, are the partners into this. So this program, the journey towards this program starts with a very careful selection about the companies which are suitable for India, which have the right solution for India. And every year we take around 3 to 8 companies in 2 batches, one in around January, February, another one in around August, September. And each company commits resources for 1.5 years. And over 1.5 years, they came to India for 3 times. And we take care of the whole preparation and setups in India, starting with getting the requirements, then getting on to selecting the right partners they should be meeting, right customers they should be meeting, and then helping them with putting the business plan in place. So the program focuses on helping a Swedish company across the full circle, starting with preparation, then helping them in positioning the product, and then getting into finding the right partner. So the objective is after 1.5 years, the company should be ready with a go-to-market business plan and probably with a pilot. So the program has been running since 2013, and over the last 8 years, we have introduced over 50 companies, and the success of this program is measured by the number of projects the companies have been able to establish. We have over 150 concrete collaborations, ranging from pilots to commercial collaborations, and then we have around 30 companies have set up some kind of local presence. They own subsidiaries in India or they have partners in India, and they have managed to interact with over 800 companies over these 8 years. And we have been introducing companies all across the energy value chain, right from generation to transmission distribution, to also looking into usage also. We are also looking into areas such as water sustainability, which have an indirect link towards energy. This program, of course, through this program, our companies have been able to establish presence all across India. We have proven examples how we have helped the Indian government to shape a few sectors through our companies, and then we are also taking care of some on-the-ground problems, what was happening in India, and trying to improve quality of life of people. So this program is the engine, and then we also have a strong foothold in the form of a Sustainability by Sweden showroom in India. So this showroom is one of the Sweden's unique representation across the globe, and where we are showcasing 23 Swedish technologies in a live working mode. We have this showroom at Business Sweden's New Delhi office, and it's open for visitors from outside. And over the last, this showroom was inaugurated in November 2018, and over the last 1.5 years, we have around 50 companies that have visited showroom. And then this year we have been focusing on doing virtual workshops, and then through these workshops and visits, we have been able to support with around 12 business collaborations, including access to new customers, finding new partners, and we are using out of class audiovisual representations and interactive maps and other kind of setups to showcase how a Swedish green tech solution fits into a smart city context for an emerging market like India. So both the programs and the showroom helps our companies, the Swedish companies, to reach to the right target audience in a very faster manner, in a very concise manner, and in a very effective manner. So to summarize, we have been the program as well as showroom have been helping the Swedish SMEs to tackle challenges, key challenges in a key market like India, and the model which they are able to develop can be easily replicated across other emerging markets. So and from our side, the learnings have been very, very clear. I mean, when you're working in a market like India, we advise companies to always plan for long term. The things doesn't go with the way they've been planned, so there are always changes. So it's always good to plan for long term. And in a market like India with such a huge population, it's always good to have strategies for individual regions also. And then given India's strong foothold in terms of service industry and in terms of manufacturing prowess, we have been suggesting them to think to be in India for the world. The models which are developed in India can be replicated across the world. We also advise the companies to leverage brand Sweden. I mean, Sweden as a country has a pretty strong brand equity in India. It's well known for its innovative products. It's well known for its art of class, high quality products. That's the advice is leverage brand Sweden, highlight to a Swedish company, and you will already be differentiated from other products. When it comes to local team, as Rickard highlighted, always focus on hiring the best. I mean, India, which has a huge manpower availability, we have resources available across the value range. So it's always critical for Swedish companies to focus on hiring the best possible person for the job. And we also suggest them to empower the local teams to focus on to let them take their own decisions. Pilots are also very critical when it comes to Swedish companies in India. It's always good to showcase that these technologies works in an Indian context. And it's always good to be very objective oriented, learn a bit of negotiations, think about always have backup plans ready. Things might not go as per your planning, so keep some buffers, keep some keep some extra time, just to make sure that you are aligning yourself to the market conditions. So this was about how the market we have been trying to prepare our companies, and we have been pretty successful in managing the expectation of our companies. And yeah, so that was all from my side for today's presentation.
Much, Pavan, and what an amazing opportunities for the companies to go into India. Thank you so much, Göran, for your presentation. Do you have any final words you want to add? I think you are maybe on mute, one of the most common comments right now.
Again, yes, this is basically a snapshot what we're doing in Sweden and things that Energy Agency can support innovative companies and ideas to grow and to be commercialized. So thank you very much for listening, and good luck with the future sessions.
Thank you so much, Göran, for your amazing job and a nice presentation. Have a good day.